Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly stopped, forgetting why you were there in the first place? Or maybe you've looked for your glasses for several minutes, only to realize they were right there, resting on your face. If this sounds familiar, please, don't worry. It happens to many people. In fact, it happens to almost everyone, especially after 60. But this isn't just about forgetting where you left your keys. It's that deeper feeling, like your mind is a little slower, like words sometimes slip away, or reading a book doesn't hold your attention the way it used to. And yes, that can be frustrating. But today, I want to offer you a different perspective. Because forgetfulness, distraction, and losing focus, these do not have to be the end of the story. Let's sit together for a few minutes and talk, calmly, about 5 small habits that can help a lot. Not just with memory and focus, but with your sense of joy and clarity. They are not miracle cures. They are not strict routines. They are gentle, possible changes that make a real difference in everyday life. Because our minds, just like our bodies, need care, stimulation, and kindness. And it all begins with something so simple that people often overlook it. Movement. Yes, walking. You may have heard it before, but maybe no one explained how walking is like watering a garden inside your brain. Each step activates areas linked to memory, attention, and creativity. It's as if your body tells your mind, wake up, we're living another day, and you don't need to walk miles. 10 or 15 minutes a day can already make a difference. If you can walk outside, even better. Feeling the breeze on your face, hearing birds sing, watching sunlight filter through the leaves, all of that soothes your heart and clears your thoughts. It's amazing how a simple afternoon walk can change your mood completely. Another habit that seems small, but carries so much power, is conversation. Yes, genuine conversation. Sitting down with someone, looking into their eyes, sharing stories, memories, even quiet moments. Our brains are made to connect, to feel with other voices, to remember together. When you talk about something you lived through, your brain lights up. It retrieves memories, organizes thoughts, and selects words. And you don't need a big family gathering to feel that connection. A good chat with a neighbor, a quick call to an old friend, even telling a story to your grandchild, all of that nourishes your mind. And more than that, it comforts your soul. Because memory needs love to grow. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you learned something new? It could be anything. A different recipe, a musical instrument, a card game, or a Bible passage you hadn't read before. The brain loves newness. It comes alive when it steps outside the routine. You might think, but I'm already over 70. Is it still worth learning now? And I'll tell you, that's exactly why it is. Learning is our way of telling life, I'm still here, still curious, still alive. And the most beautiful part is that the more we learn, the more we strengthen our brain's connections. It's like turning on little lights in corners that have been dark for a long time. I remember Donna Irene, a woman I met at church. She was 78 when she decided to start painting. I've never held a brush before, she said. But she began slowly, watching videos, reading a bit, experimenting. Today, she paints watercolor flowers as if she'd done it her whole life. And the best part is, she says she feels more alive, more aware, more joyful. Sometimes, that's all we need, to take one step outside our routine and let the brain play again. And while we're talking about play, did you know that laughter also helps your memory? It's true. Laughter releases chemicals that boost mood and focus. And when we feel lighter, less tense, everything flows better. Speech, thoughts, even remembering things. Watching a funny movie, recalling childhood stories, playing with your grandkids. All of that is more than fun. It's healing. There's a story I'll never forget about a gentleman who went to the store to buy just 2 things, and came back with a bag full, except he forgot the two main items. When his wife asked about it, he laughed and said, "I got so excited about the bananas on sale, I forgot the milk and rice." They laughed so much, and in that moment, they remembered old stories from 20 years ago. That's how memory works. It responds to joy. And maybe you're wondering, but what if none of this works? What if I still feel overwhelmed and scattered? You know, in those moments, the most important thing is to be gentle with yourself. Our minds need rest too. And there's a kind of rest that not many people talk about, but it's essential: intentional silence. That moment in the day when you sit down, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just be still. That's not wasting time. That's gaining presence. And the more present we are in the now, the easier it becomes to remember what truly matters. Just one quiet minute with God, or with your own heart, can be more powerful than trying to force yourself to recall a name. There is so much more we could talk about, because memory is not only about names and dates. Memory is about how we live. And even when some memories slip away, new ones are being created every day through the choices we make. And speaking of choices, there's still more I want to share with you. Simple choices that can renew your clarity and bring back that feeling of being fully alive. And you know what else quietly but powerfully supports your memory? What you eat. I'm not talking about strict diets or complicated rules that only confuse and frustrate. I'm talking about small decisions you can bring into your daily meals without stress. Your brain works better when your body receives the nourishment it needs, energy that lifts instead of dragging you down. A slice of avocado with lemon, a few Brazil nuts in the afternoon, some grilled fish at lunch, a handful of leafy greens with olive oil. These aren't just foods, they're acts of care. And when you care for yourself with kindness, your brain notices. Some foods protect memory, reduce inflammation, and even improve your mood. But what truly matters is not only what's on your plate, but how you approach the moment of eating. Eating slowly, with gratitude, without the TV on, paying attention to taste and texture. This alone becomes an exercise in presence. And the more present we are, the more memories we form. Because memory needs focus to grow, and focus is born from calm. Sometimes, we're not truly forgetting, we're just not present enough to remember. Another habit that's worth more than gold is sleep. It may seem simple, but good rest is one of the greatest gifts you can give your brain. While you sleep, your brain cleans, organizes, files away the important, and discards what no longer matters. It's like a gentle nighttime cleaning crew that prepares you for the next day. When this process is disrupted, your brain is left working in a messy office. I know sleep isn't always easy, especially after 60. Sometimes it takes a while to come. Sometimes it comes and goes. Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night with your mind racing. But there are ways to help your body remember that it's time to rest. A warm cup of tea, a quiet prayer before bed, dim lights in the evening, no phone screens before sleeping. These are simple signals that say to your body, you can stop now, everything is okay. And when sleep improves, everything improves. Mood, patience, focus, learning. A good day starts with a good night. And memory thanks you for every moment of rest. Because it's in the silence of sleep that some of the most important connections are made. And speaking of prayer, have you noticed how spirituality affects your mind too? I'm not talking about formal religion, but that private connection with God, that deep trust in a purpose greater than ourselves. Prayer brings healing, faith brings focus, stillness brings clarity. When we turn to God with our thoughts, when we reflect on His Word, when we pause in faith instead of panic, something changes inside us. I knew a woman named Celia who began every day by reading the same verse out loud, Psalm 23, the one that says the Lord is our shepherd. She said it helped her remember who she was, even on confusing days. Faith builds bridges in our memory, and those bridges hold us up when everything else feels fragile. And maybe right now, you feel like this all sounds good, but distant from your reality. Maybe you're grieving someone you loved. Maybe loneliness has crept in since your children moved away. Maybe time feels like it passed too quickly, and now you think it's too late to try. But I want to share something I've learned from walking alongside wise, older hearts. It is never too late to bloom, and it is never too early to begin again. Memory isn't a machine, it's a garden. And a garden can be replanted, watered, and revived, even if it's been neglected. You just have to start with one flower pot, one seed, one small gesture. And these habits, that's what they are, seeds. Gentle choices you can make, without pressure, without hurry. You don't have to change everything at once. Just start with one thing, and let the rest grow from there. And don't compare yourself to anyone. Some people remember names easily, others forget birthdays. Some speak with confidence, others take longer to find their words. That's all okay. What matters is how you feel with yourself. If you feel you can grow, then begin. If you're doing well, then keep going with gratitude. Because caring for your memory is not only about remembering more, it's about living with more presence, more kindness, more depth. It's being fully there in a conversation, smiling at a fond memory, telling a childhood story with that quiet sparkle in your eyes, and that no one can take away from you. Because even when memory fails, love remains. Love is the memory that time cannot erase, and it is with love that we continue this conversation. There's still one more beautiful habit to share with you, something deeply simple, yet powerful for your mind and your spirit. Shall we keep going? And now, you might be wondering, is there one more habit? Something that really completes this journey of taking care of the mind after 60? And I would say, yes, there is. And perhaps it is the most powerful of all. Gratitude. Yes, the simple act of giving thanks. It may seem small, maybe even naive, but it is not. Gratitude changes the way the brain works. It helps calm the nervous system, improves emotional balance, strengthens memory, and teaches us to see what still shines, even when the day feels gray. Starting the morning by giving thanks for 3 small things, even before getting out of bed, can change everything. Thanking for the health that still remains, for the bread that will be eaten, for a childhood memory that surfaced, for a friend who called at just the right time, for opening your eyes one more day. Gratitude turns on the light inside the mind. It reconnects your heart with what truly matters. It teaches the brain to store what is good. I once met a man named Joaquim, who every evening before bed would write a simple sentence of gratitude in a small notebook. Nothing poetic, just honest things. Today, I smelled the coffee from my childhood. Today, I heard my granddaughter's laughter. Today, I finished a book. Over time, he noticed he was feeling lighter, more attentive, more hopeful. He used to say that remembering good things gave his heart a place to rest and gave his mind a reason to hold on to what mattered. And isn't that what we all want, really? To hold on to what matters? The memories that make us smile quietly, the hugs we still feel on our skin, the voices that echo in the afternoon silence, the smells that live in our kitchens, the advice of those who have already passed. Memory is not just about facts, it is made of feelings. And the more we feel, the more we remember. So, if there is something I wish for you, it is that life continues to move you deeply, even in the smallest things. Maybe you have gone through losses that left you in silence for a long time. Maybe you have felt forgotten by people you once helped so much. Maybe you believe the best years are behind you. But I want to tell you, with all the love I can offer, there is still beauty in this season of life. There is wisdom in white hair. There is strength in a slower pace. There is deep power in choosing to take care of your mind even when the world forgets to look. You can still laugh like a child, sing an old song, write a letter, memorize a new verse, or get emotional at the sight of a sunset. Life does not end when the body ages. Life continues as long as love exists within us. And memory, even when it falters, can still be watered with stories, with faith, with music, with gratitude. That is why I invite you today to choose a small gesture. Just one step. Maybe a short walk in the early morning. Maybe calling someone you have not spoken to in a while. Maybe preparing a simple meal with attention and intention. Maybe going to bed a bit earlier, praying a little longer, or simply sitting on the porch and watching the world go by without rushing. These small choices create fertile ground for your mind to bloom again. And when you start to feel that you are remembering more, smiling more, feeling more alive, please share it with someone. Tell someone what is working for you. Because when something does good, it deserves to be shared. And what comes from your experience, from your maturity, from your heart, has real power. More than any manual, more than any complicated method, it is what comes from love that lasts. If you have stayed with me this far, I truly thank you. It brings me joy to sit with someone who also values life, even with its tiredness, even with its flaws. And if this conversation touched you in any way, I gently invite you to leave a comment, share your experience, or simply say you are here, on the other side of this screen, living this moment with faith and courage. Sometimes, your story is exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you believe this video could help someone you love, send it to them. A friend, a child, a neighbor, someone who could use this reminder. Sharing is a way of saying, I care about you. I believe your mind and heart still have so much to offer. Life after 60 can still be full of energy, choice, and joy. There is still time to care for your memory, your body, your soul. There is still time to rediscover yourself, to begin something new, to be moved by simple things. As long as there is time, there is a path. And where there is a path, there is hope. Never stop believing that. May each morning be an invitation to remember what brings you peace. May each act of kindness remind you that life is still worth living, because you are not forgotten. God sees you, loves you, and walks with you, even when your thoughts feel scattered. And may your memory always hold on to what matters most: love, faith, and moments of peace, because those, no one can take from you.